Hello, hello, hello.
And sit down.
Welcome to my first ever podcast. I got my tea. I'm going to tell you about that. But first, because I've never recorded before, I'll tell you a little bit about me. So, this is Mollie in the Knits, and I am a knitter who knits every day, and that is my dream, to knit every single day. I love drinking tea and really good coffee. I'm from Melbourne in Australia, and yeah, I just feel like this is the perfect day to start a podcast because I love watching them, and I am, for the first time ever, starting to design knitting patterns that you can knit from, and it's really weird and wonderful, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I love the idea that like I get to record how I feel right now, and then the pattern's going to release at the beginning of June. See, I didn't even say a date because I know a date and I've told all my testers a date. But I've never done this before, so 1st of June is the date that it's going to release. It's written, it's just finished testing today, and I really love the pattern. I've knit it 3 times. I'm going to show you it. This is one of them. It's the drip cardigan, but this is not a podcast about the cardigan. This is like a traditional knitting podcast where I'm going to go over all the things I've finished so far in the year. I'm going to go over my works in progress, and I'm also going to show you my acquisitions and then the design that I'm doing and the ones I want to do. So I am already having fun just like getting to share this, because I sent out the email this morning for the feedback of testers and it felt really professional, because I've done a lot of tests, and to be on the other end, it was like a little bit comical in that really playful, fun, this is new way. What else? Yeah, so I live in Melbourne. A bit about me, going back to a bit about me, and then I'll show you my finished objects for the year. There is a few, but only because it's May. So that's like January, February, March, April, May, and I knit every day. Yeah, I used to work at a tea shop called T2. Worked there as a manager for many years, and so I drink tea every single day. This tea is a black tea with spices, so just a chai without milk or honey. And yeah, there's not a day that goes by that I don't have my kettle going, which gets a lot of comments in my house because it's a fast brew kettle. I'll show you one day. But it's a fast brew kettle and it goes really loud, so brewing all the time. I learnt knitting when I was really young, and then in 2022, after the big wave of COVID, but COVID was still around, I got COVID for like the 7th time. I'm immunocompromised and have 2 chronic conditions. So at the time, I only knew about one of them, which was rheumatoid arthritis. And I never mind sharing, so if you have questions about it, go for it. But I was was isolating because he still tried to isolate and not give everyone COVID. Even though in Australia we had all had vaccines by that stage. Did we? Yeah, it was like the first round of everyone getting vaccines. So anyway, all of that to say, I was in a room by myself, and so I was watching YouTube and watched a lot of YouTube, and I came across Veronica Lindenberg's dress. I think her last name's Lindenberg. Dress video. I think everyone's seen it. I will link it below just in case you haven't, but she knitted a dress. That was what drew me into the video, but I definitely was struck by how much she shared about the mistakes she was making. I was like, damn, if she is making mistakes and she can knit from her head a wedding dress, like, that can't be my goal. I'm going to start knitting and I'm going to make one of her patterns. And she had, and still has, the most amazing patterns and videos. So I knit her, it's like a summer singlet. That was the first thing I ever knit. Loved it. Went on YouTube, watched every single thing I could about knitting, and knit prolifically every single day. Did test knits. My first test knit was for a Canadian designer, Elizabeth Smith. Really hope she's from Canada. I have not looked that up. And then here I am in 2026. I wrote my first knitting pattern December last year. Got it tech edited and test knit, which just finished yesterday. So yeah, back to the normal format. That's me. What am I wearing? I'm wearing the drip cardigan. This is the one that I designed. I cropped it. The full length one I'll show you as well. But it's in 2 yarns types and colours I've never knit before. So this is a Dongal yarn from Ireland in fingering weight that puffed up so much after blocking. Was the toothiest yarn I've ever held in my life. And I generally go the opposite way. I'm like, baby alpaca, please. So it was really cool seeing how soft this actually was. And then because I like non-itchy soft yarns, I'd never used, believe this or not, I'd never used mohair. And so this is mohair. Lace weight held double, and you knit it up on 4.5 millimeter needles. It's got this really cool little bit here. Yeah, and this knit up really fast because of the 4.5 millimeter needles. So that's what I'm wearing. This is the other thing that I'm wearing. It is from Park and Knit, and she is a designer in America, and she was one of my first garments. I knit a Ghost Whisperer top, but this top is called Base Layer, and it's a t-shirt with really beautiful shaping, and it knits up on like 6.5 millimeter needles, so that goes really fast. So that's the 2 things I'm wearing. We've done what I'm drinking, so now we do finished objects of the year. I love this one. Oh my God, the yarn is so good. So this is the first one. This is, I actually want to try this on. Let's do that. Sari Nautilin pattern called Poet's Tea. It's around, like, lots of people knit this design, and I am no different. I'm obsessed with it. I think it's a really beautiful pattern. It was really hard to get my head around initially, and then maybe I'll actually take this off and change. Hold on. I'll talk while I'm doing it. But this pattern was just so beautiful because it was difficult, yes, but it was also because it was such a detailed pattern. Hold on one sec. I've got to put my mic down. We'll see how that volume goes. But because it was a really detailed knit, it meant I couldn't watch anything, and I like to watch knitting podcasts while I'm knitting. So initially I was quite disappointed, and then I realized it is like the most beautiful thing to be able to just knit. So I do it quite often now after knitting this, but like this one really captured my attention and like entertained me. And I'd heard, sorry Nordlin, here I come. That was really long, me trying it on. But I'd heard Sari Nordlin talk about that it like is her joy to knit complicated things. I was like, why? And then I knitted her design and I was like, I get it. It's just so meditative and all focusing. So it is really enjoyable. So it's in a yarn called Snozelberry. I love that name. And this is dyed in Australia by a company, a yarn business that is called Dyed by Hand. So Snozelberry, the fibre is really cool. It is a mix of 50% baby alpaca, 25% linen, and 25% silk. So silk, linen, and baby alpaca. Beautiful. It just, like you can see how beautiful it is. So that, and then I did a little test knit. I'll try this on too. This, is that going to record enough? This is Friday Knits sushi date jumper. And I did it in 3 colours. Let me put it on. Absolutely love this one. I'm just going to do ad libs because if they're really quiet, it won't matter. This one is so beautiful. So this is Sushi Date, and it's a round neck colourwork jumper. And oh my God, I was designing something else, a scarf to go with the drip cardi of my first design, the drip cardi. And I was like, would it be the best idea ever or a really bad idea to do a test knit? So I decided it would be the best idea ever and signed up for this. And Friday Knits is by Phoebe, and she's in Melbourne as well. Beautiful human being, was so lovely because I had replied back late. Just because it went to an old email address. And this literally took me 2.5 weeks to knit. I knit it in Fiore, which is a brand that I get a lot in Australia. I don't know if it's around, but it'll be in the notes if you're curious on where you are. In the colour Moss, which is an older colourway, still in stock in some stores, but they're doing another colour, which is Sage, which is also really beautiful. This colour is actually a dark brown by Bellissimo. And then the orange is a sock yarn by Dyed by Hand again. And it is in the colourway Gordon's Head Coral. So beautiful, worked out so well. So that was Poet Top this, and then I finished that. I've done designs. I'll put them all into one category, but there was my own designs while I was doing this. And I was like, that actually was really great. I knit really fast. I found it really fun because the pattern had all the instructions there. I wasn't writing it. And so designing and test knitting together for other people might be my favorite thing, or at least knitting from other people's designs, because it's all written there. So it's kind of like popcorny. It's like you just go. When I'm designing, I've learned, I'm very new at this, but when I'm designing, I learned I am really making a lot of decisions. So I'll ponder, like, should this scarf have a random increase, or should this pattern go this long, or how long should I knit this part of the body for? So everything's being decided, and then I'm trying to write it down in a way that I will understand it later, to then write it up so that other people can understand it. So all of that is like new in a different way and is a big mental load, whereas knitting other people's patterns while I'm doing it, I thought would be too intense. No, it's amazing. I'm going to put this down and try it on. Excuse me. So, yeah, again, this is my first podcast, so we'll see if you can actually hear me when I'm trying on things. But this had short rows. She does this really cool. So this is Elizabeth Smith's test knit. It's called On the Ocean, and this is the increase just along that side. So it's not a saddle shoulder. It's just like this really beautiful slope in this design. She does a lot of different things. She's pretty cool at how much she releases. And she was the first person I ever test knit a really different design that I loved as well. But this one was this year, and it's a finished object. And it uses all of my leftover oranges. It uses all of my leftover oranges by Elizabeth Smith. And I loved it. Loved knitting this. I loved doing stripes. I've heard people talk about this, especially Veronica Lindenberg from Kuta Kavika. But yeah, I just got a real thrill out of getting 2 different chunks. And I think there's something about seeing your progress that really makes you want to keep doing it. I just thought this is the best, that I can knit other people's designs and design things. Because I was a little bit worried about how intense it would be designing my own knitwear patterns. And I've heard knitwear designers say they just didn't get time to knit anyone else's designs, which I feel like might come in my future. Like, I've released 0 patterns and it's May. So maybe if I want to release more patterns, that might happen. But no, it was really fun. So this yarn, again, you can see some of the Gordon Head Coral. This is Rufus mixed with an orange yarn. This is F Brunch. So these 2 are Woolen Works. The green is Zest by Hodgepodge Yarn Dyers in Australia. More F Brunch. Then I mixed Rufus with another orange yarn with the Gordon Head. So I just kind of had all different oranges. And this was a gift yarn, a beautiful brushed merino. So it's brushed merino, it's DK alpaca, it's fingering alpaca and an orange linen yarn held together. Excuse me. So lots of different yarns. So that was really fun. So this is my finished jumpers. Then I also got Summer Lee's new book, and I immediately started knitting all of the socks, and I really want to knit another pair today, but I'm gonna do design knitting. So this is the first one. This is like art class or art design. I'll put it in the notes. Pattern with DK yarn. Oh my god, it's just so pretty. This is from a Melbourne hand dyer called Maximu, and the colour is Ghoulish. So that was my first pair, and I ran out of Ghoulish because it was left over from another top I knit. So I also had like this beautiful, this is like one of the most beautiful light greens that I've ever used in DK sock yarn, actual sock yarn, whereas this top DK has no nylon in it. That's from Heather Maid, who's also a Melbourne dyer. And I got to chat to her at the Yarra Valley Fibre Festival a week or so ago, which was really cool. Okay, so that's all my finished objects. Because they're finished objects, I'm going to show you my designs as well. I'll clip this here. There can't be too much orange. So the drip. Woo! Every time I pick this up, I absolutely love it. This is the drip. I will put it on for you all at the end. Only because I don't know if the mic is recording when I take it off here, and now I know why everyone holds up a stick with the mic on it, which I did try before I was recording. I was like, I don't need that. I do. This, oh, it's so beautiful, is the detail across the shoulder where you are attaching, I don't know, I'm looking at it, I'm not showing you. You're attaching the back and front together. So you do a trapeze at the back, you can see it here. A trapeze at the back, and then add on this side and then this side, and then join all together to knit back and forth with colour work. Now, this design is because of this wool. This is Woolen Works called Storm Cloud, and the pink and grey is like every storm cloud in my freaking area. And then a beautiful just lace weight white boucle, 4.5mm needles, because I like to knit things that are flowy. And also there is almost everything out there, and I feel like when I'm knitting, finding loose gauge knitting patterns is the thing I want to knit. So that's what I designed. 4.5mm needles, which is a US 7 on fingering weight yarn, which is fingering or 4-ply, depending on where you are living. And I brought the yarn, and I was so good. I went to Bendigo with a friend of mine called Maddie, and we're going this year too. But I didn't buy any one skeins, unless it was for sock. I brought like 4 sock yarns that were separate, but in general, we were like so good at not buying single yarn balls for things that we wanted to make a project. What it meant is I came home with 3 balls of some things, this colour, and I couldn't fully knit something with 3 balls. So I designed this because I do love fades and adding in different colours, but I wanted something that felt like it was not accidental, that it was meant to be. So I love asymmetrical sleeves. I've done asymmetrical at some level on all of them. And yeah, I'll put them on at the end, I said, yeah. So that one, and then that was my first sample, and then I knit this one and just cropped it. So just stopped and started the colour work 2 centimetres, like maybe that's an inch from the underarm, and it's so beautiful in this yarn. I talked about it a bit at the beginning. So that was really cool, and yeah, absolutely loved it. This one, yeah, it was so fast, took me 2 weeks. And then my son wanted one, which I could not be happier, because it's my first design. I don't know how many people are going to knit this, but I really loved knitting it, and I wanted to knit it in Ching fibre, which you cannot get a lot of. So it's kind of perfect for this design where you might be getting 2 different colours, because they just don't have in stock the color that you want fully for a jumper. So this is Ching Fibre Lockwood, and then a pink one, which I will add on the screen. Yeah, and it's just so beautiful with the mottled color, the really crazy hand dyedness of it. Oh my God, and this I absolutely love. So again, that's that eyelet section where you're joining in. So that's one design. I knit it 3 times, 3 different sizes, and one I cropped. And then I was not done with the drip because I had leftovers. So I made this, and it was surprisingly really fun. I will tell you why, because it, you know, it may not look like the funnest thing, it's like knit in a tube, but there's just something about colour work that makes stockinette even more fun. And this, oh, I don't think that's gonna work. This kind of scarf is like one of my favorites. It's just easy to carry with me. It's kind of like socks, but no heel or toe. And I wrote this up, and it's been tech edited by a beautiful tech editor who was so, just so gorgeous, like really amazing at timing, and just like so lovely to talk to. Gayanne, she does a YouTube channel as well, so I'll link her, but she's been amazing. So she tech edited this. So I've finished 2 designs so far this year. This is the other thing I finished. I'm wearing them. And this is from Lee's book as well. Oh my gosh, I did a different heel. I did, what's it called? I've forgotten the name of the heel. I have a knitting book. I'm actually going to get it and tell you because I always want to know. But this is the sock. It's such a good color. All right, let me get the knitting book. You should be able to hear me, even though I might want to cut this so it's not too long. But then if you're knitting, it's kind of nice. Here it is. I've got my knitting book. Walking back to the camera while I find my notes. So the socks that I knit are not written down. Oh, this is my knitting book. I absolutely love it. I use it for all of my projects except for this one. All right, it'll have to be added on screen because the Lee sock books are really in the back of my wardrobe. Let me see if I can quickly, yes, no. Okay, yeah. When did I start that? So nice. Did I write the colours? No, that's okay. Cool. So that's all of my finished objects, and the drippy cardigan and the drippy cowl and scarf is going to be in the one pattern where you can do it bigger or smaller because it's whatever I had hanging around. So you might have more. You might have actually brought the right amount and want to do that. So the pattern will have both options. Okay, I'm going to try and, maybe I can leave the scarf on. I'll take off this jumper because I'm going to show you my whips next. They are 2 new designs that I'm working on. I don't know what I'm doing, but I really like designing. This one is called, oh my God, the yarn is so nice. This is a brushed alpaca in a lace weight. Can you see that? Might be a bit too dark. I will pop it on. It's got a longer back, kind of like bell shaped, and it's all the ends are still there because I haven't done the neckline. It's got a thumb hole, which is what I wanted in my jumper. I'm literally knitting things that I really want in the world. So a high-low back, where the back is low and the top is high. Do I need to take this off? Yes, because the mic is all here. Okay. Cool. So I've still got all my stitch markers to check my measurements. I will stand up so you can see the high-lowness of it. It's just, oof, so beautiful. So I've got to do a neckline. Like, want to do a where you pick up and you just knit stockinette so it's rolled, so like a big rolled, because then you could wear it off the shoulder, you could bring it up and it'd be a bit warmer. I really want to do that. I was half thinking, look at this yarn still attached. I was half thinking last night, do I just do a collar? Because I was wearing this base layer by Parker Knits. Oh, I forgot to say the yarn. This is Marcus by Woolen Works, that colour. That was her Bear collection, which you had to pre-order for. So like art, it's gone. That was such a beautiful colour that I was like, maybe I do want a collar. But I think the feeling of a rolled neck on me will be really nice. So I did Japanese short rows. Also, Japanese short rows is something that I really love. I'm going to make a video about it because there's some really amazing videos, but I just think if I'm doing patterns, to add that support of video, which I use all the time in almost any pattern that I'm struggling with, will be such a fun thing. What a full circle moment to make a video about a pattern that I've written. I've not released it yet, as you know. So that's one design. And this is my other design. I can't put it on because... Hey, can someone just suggest what I should do with my mic? Thanks. This is for yoga in a hot room, which is one of my favorite things to do. I have to go to physio a lot and I'm managing a condition that is difficult to manage because it flares a lot, but consistent yoga has really supported me a lot. So I'm knitting a little yoga top that will have cut off sleeves like that, and it's in 100% silk. So it's in this silk. So this is Tusha Tweed by BC Garns, and it is made out of ethical silk. I got it from a local yarn store called Mrs. Harry, and they were so helpful and beautiful. They had knitted up a sample on 3mm. I was like, that is beautiful and probably a very nice gauge for this, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to design something on a 4mm, which is a US 6. So I cast on the neck and I've done some increases and now I've split. So this is kind of how far I've got here, and I'm doing the back and it's kind of up to there. Such a beautiful color. It's this really beautiful, I think it's going to be very wicking. So I tried the linen baby alpaca top in hot yoga, but as soon as you sweat, it doesn't feel nice. It feels wet on your skin, whereas this one has probably a soaking quality And the other fibre that I've found in hand knit that works when you're sweating is bamboo, which is a little bit hard to find. So if any of you know about bamboo yarn, can you please tell me? Because yeah, it's a lot cheaper than silk and I would like to make something in it. So that's my other whip. So this is one, and they're both designs. The other thing that I am making is a work in progress I purchased off someone else. Woolen Works was doing a clear out of her whips and I was obsessed with this pattern and the color of the yarn. So this is called bomber.com by Friday Knits, and it's a blue yarn with the fairy bread yarn as the contrast. I'll put it on because I love it. That is my last whip that I'm working on. Oof, it's such a nice weight. I'm a little bit interested to see if I have made it a little bit too cropped. And I also made a mistake. Friday Knits will know. On the collar, but I like how it all pulls in. Oh man, I'm kind of loving this sleeve too. I love where it sits. So that's my other whip. And it's got these cool pockets. Boop. So that's my 3 whips. I want to put on one of these. Maybe I'll put on Rohan's. This is very small on me. This is a kid's size, which is the first size, size number 1. And he's 10 years old, so. That is all of my knitting. It is like strewn everywhere. It's like, woo, woo. I also want to show you my acquisitions. I went to a yarn store I've really wanted to go to before, and this Wool and Handy Yarra Valley show. So I went to Little Woolly Makes and this in the last 2 weeks. Let's start with this because I've got the bag here. Woolen Works was there and I got more of this Storm Cloud fingering Suri alpaca, so 100% fingering Suri alpaca. So beautiful. I love baby alpaca, so I also saw this color, Time Well Spent. There was only one skein, so I got that. Also, it was $25 a skein, so anyone who's there got a real bargain. Yeah, that was all I got from there. Then before that, I actually got to go with Maddie to Little Woolly Makes in Hastings in Victoria, which is just an hour from me. And they had everything. They had Knitting for Olive, they had Cascade, all of the sock yarn, they had all these beautiful hedgehog fibre from Ireland, they had their own brand and a Maximu line. They had like any colour range, Noro. They had Noro. They had whatever knitting needles you were interested in, they had that brand, which I was really proud and impressed by because quite often they'll stick to 1 or 2 brands if they're a knitting store. But I know for myself, like I'm really loyal to one particular brand. And so for them to really fork out that financial outlay and have all of these different brands because they know how we like to knit is really personal, and we like Chagu if we like Chagu, we like Knit Pro if we like Knit Pro, we like the Leica set, if we like the one you like is the one you like, and you get really used to it. And I just thought that was really cool. Anyway, they had a lot of Knitting for Olive. I got these 2 colors because I want to make another drip scarf, the Infinite Drip, the drip, in these 2 colors. And they are This one I have always loved. I really love orange. That's Hokkaido. And this is umami yellow. And then, more brushed merino. I really am starting to get obsessed with brushed merino. There's not a lot of people doing it. So my black design that I tried on is the noir nori, because it looks like you're wrapped up in a nori roll. And noir because it's black. And that one's from Obsession Yarns, lace weight brushed merino. Can everyone please dye brushed merino? Thank you. This is Hedgehog's one, and they are new to come out with it as well. It's called Also Fine Souffle. Also, I don't know if it's new, but I saw them themselves advertising it, which made me to believe that it was new. This is Heartbreaker from Little Woolly Makes, and oh my God, I got to wind up a ball. Ah, it is like phenomenal. Oof. Like, look at that orange in this one. Can you see it? Oh my gosh. Anyway, it's so gorgeous. So I want to design another high-low top using Japanese short rows with this. Yeah, it'll be a very different gauge and different needles, because this is 300 meters for 100 grams. So that is more like in between DK and fingering. So in between 8-ply and 4-ply. Yeah. And then this is just all the other yarn for the bomber.com jacket. So that was really cool. That feels like a little bit of luxury, because I am going to go to Bendigo and buy lots of yarn. The next design I want to do after these two, so my hot top and my noir nori, is the brushed alpaca one and a drip round neck. I'm not done with the drip. It is so beautiful. So that's my first podcast. I want to end with telling you where I'm recording. So I'm recording on the land of the Wurundjeri people, and that's really special to me to mention, because I live in Australia, and there is like a deep history to this land long before settlers came from England. So paying my deep respects to the past elders, present, and many future ones. I am Mollie in the Knits. I'm on Instagram. I have no designs out, but I'm a knitwear designer. And yeah, if you know me and you're watching this, let me know what you thought. If I don't know you and you're watching this, hi. This was really fun to record. So this feels like the perfect length. I feel like I've said everything I could say. So yeah, I will post this tomorrow, Tuesday. It'll be today, Tuesday, or whatever day. It doesn't matter to you. That's just to me, I'm saying that. And I will release a video every Tuesday. So I will see you next week. I'll update you on my knitting and yeah, whatever stuff you're interested in. If you want me to talk about tea, I would love that too.